You guys, I'm so excited to bring you this news, and I'll try to keep it as short and simple as possible. Nancy Pelosi has said that the House of Representatives is not going to leave Washington, D.C. until a stimulus agreement is reached. As well, the caucus of Democrats and Republicans in the House came out and they've released their proposed bill. It's not really a bill, but it's their proposed idea. And it has 2 stimulus checks in it. 2. One right now and one later. I know you guys are going to leave once I say this, so subscribe right now, like this video so that it can reach as many people as possible and everybody can know about it. Thank you guys so very much. So as you can see right here, there is the $1,200 stimulus check that would go out to every single person who has received one before, as well as $500 per child. But in addition to that, there's dependent adults included retroactive. So that means they would get a check this time and money for last time. So they would get double for this one. If we go all the way down to the automatic boosters that would come into action if COVID continues and if this pandemic continues and if certain metrics aren't met, as you can see on the second bullet point, it says automatic stimulus check in March 2021 if warranted based on metrics. There you go, guys. That is a second stimulus check. Well, a third stimulus check. This is absolutely nuts, and I could not wait to bring this to you guys. This is so awesome. Let's run through this really fast now that I have the actual bill here that I can show to you guys. There's $25 billion for testing, $30 billion for healthcare providers, $45 billion forgiveness for Medicare loans. Then, as far as individuals and families, there's a whole $316 billion right up front. That doesn't even include the possibility of more stimulus checks or more unemployment. But 15% WIC increase for those on WIC, 15% SNAP increase for those who are on that food program, as well as a $1,200 stimulus checks, $500 per dependent, plus adult dependents, you guys. This is huge. They were excluded last time. They'd be included this time, as well as back paid for the last stimulus check. There's a student loan forbearance, which is extremely important, as well as rental assistance for those who aren't able to pay their rent because of the pandemic. For unemployment, there's $120 billion initially set aside. That's $450 a week for 8 weeks. And then there's up to $600 a week, but you wouldn't exceed 100% of your previous wage, which is important to the Republicans. This would be for 13 weeks from mid-October all the way through January of 2021. There's almost $300 billion set aside for small businesses and nonprofits, $240 billion for the PPP program. And guess what, guys? There is $50 billion for the EIDL loan. This is when I did the video on $10,000 totally free, and then it was $1,000 per employee is what they ended up changing it to. But this could mean if you had a business, a side hustle that you didn't get that grant for, it's free money, you might have a chance of getting that again if they were to pass something similar to this. There's the money for schools and child care. There's $15 billion to help child care providers, $100 billion to help our schools, and $30 billion for higher education. State and local aid is by far the largest with $500 billion. They're giving $130 billion that's already allocated from the CARES Act or reallocated to help with past state and local COVID expenses. Then there's another $130 billion to help with future COVID expenses, $120 billion to help local general revenue shortfall. So that's they aren't getting enough money from their taxes because of COVID. $250 billion to help the states, not just local government, but the whole state with that shortfall of the tax revenue as well. There as well is worker and liability protection included in this proposal. Also more with the automatic boosters or reducers. So a booster, there would be 3 more months of unemployment added after January if it were needed. And that would be $120 billion. Like I said, there would be a third stimulus check in March if needed. And then reducers, the PPP loan could be reduced, $60 billion. State and local funding could be reduced, $130 billion. And rental assistance could be reduced, $10 billion. Here's the total cost breakdown. You have the $1.5 trillion bill that is proposed. It could have $400 billion more on top of it. And There is $130 billion from the CARES Act that is in the state and local to help with past COVID problems. And then there could be $200 billion, actually less than the $1.5 trillion if things went better than expected. Anyway, guys, I have been so excited to share this with you. I hope that this is helpful. If it was, be sure to like it and share it with those who you know. Thank you so much for your support in this channel. Love you guys. Take care. See ya. Bye-bye.